I came across a Bonanza rerun recently, watched it, and got to thinking. Now that was good television. I watched Bonanza back in the day, but it has been a long time since I have seen the show. I got to reminiscing about the program and decided to do a video about it. Hopefully, you will enjoy my trip down memory lane. If you were a Bonanza fan, or maybe even too young to remember it, join me as I go back to a time when television was more innocent. Bonanza was a long running and highly successful Western TV series which debuted in September 1959 and ran through January of 1972. It lasted 14 seasons and had 431 episodes. It was NBC's longest running Western series on network TV and the second longest running Western in TV network history, only behind CBS's Gunsmoke. It is in the top 10 longest running live action American series. The show was set in the 1860s and it chronicles the wealthy Cartwright family who live on a 2 million acre mega ranch called the Ponderosa in Nevada along Lake Tahoe in the vicinity of Virginia City. Virginia City is a real-life town in Nevada which got its start as a result of rich silver discoveries in the area referred to as the Comstock Lode. The show was of the Western genre for sure, with lots of shoot-'em-ups, fist fights, and various other Western themes that one would expect from a Western series of the era. However, it is also known for tackling pressing moral issues of the day. The Cartwright family is led by Ben Cartwright. Ben is played by Lorne Greene, who outlived 3 wives and had 1 son by each of the wives. He and the 3 half-brothers, all bachelors, live in a splendid and large house on their ranch called the Ponderosa, so named because of the Ponderosa pines common to the area. Though none of the original 4 primary characters were played by familiar or well-known stars, they quickly became household names due to the popularity of the show. Lorne Greene was born Canadian. Early in the show's history, he recalls each of his late wives in flashback episodes. Ben was portrayed as might be expected, wise and a solid rock family leader, but not without some life trials and tribulations. Greene appeared in all but 14 of the Bonanza episodes. He was 44 years old at the beginning of the series. In 2007, a TV Guide survey listed Ben Cartwright as television's #2 favorite dad. Pernell Roberts played the eldest son, a college-educated architect who built the ranch house. Of the 3 sons, he was my least favorite. Not that I had anything specifically to complain about the Adam character, I just was never able to embrace his persona. Apparently Roberts had real-life issues with the series writers. He was not happy with his character's lack of independence, complaining that at 30-plus years old, Adam was always dependent on Pa's approval, and after 202 episodes, quit to return to stage productions. Attempts to replace Roberts with Little Joe's maternal half-brother Clay and Cartwright cousin Will were unsuccessful. Roberts decided to stay for another season, but when he did officially leave, it was mentioned that he had gone to sea and migrated to Australia, where he had a son, Adam A.C. Cartwright, Jr. Dan Blocker played middle son Eric Hoss Cartwright. Blocker was 6 feet 4 inches and weighed 320 pounds. He played a lovable, gentle giant, but because of his size and strength, it was not wise to cross him. He was always my favorite Cartwright, and I suspect that a large percentage of viewers would agree. I always felt sorry for his horse that had to carry such a big man. Apparently, he was just as likable in real life as his character was portrayed. The show's crew found Blocker to be, quote, the least actorish as well as the most likable cast member, unquote. Producer David Dortort had this to say about Blocker, quote, over the years he gave me the least amount of trouble, unquote. In May 1972, prior to the final season of filming Bonanza, Blocker died suddenly from a post-operative pulmonary embolism at the young age of 43. The producers felt that nobody could continue the role, so they decided to kill off the Hoss character. I agree with that decision. After all those years, only Dan Blocker could successfully play Hoss. Michael Landon portrayed the youngest son of Ben, Little Joe Cartwright. Of all the actors on Bonanza, Landon became by far the most famous and decorated, evidenced by the fact that he appeared on the cover of TV Guide 22 times, second only to Lucille Ball. He starred in two other very successful TV series, Little House on the Prairie and Highway to Heaven. Landon at times clashed with the producers and directors of Bonanza, especially in the last 5 years of the show. His TV persona was somewhat similar, in that he was the most hot-headed and impetuous of the three Cartwright brothers. In April 1991, he started having severe headaches, and within 3 months died at the age of 54. There were other actors that played significant roles in a number of episodes. However, Ben and the three sons were the undisputed stars. One of my favorite secondary characters was their Chinese cook, Hop Sing, played by Victor Sin Young. Although he appeared in only 8 to 9 shows per season, he offered a nice change of pace character who supplied a lot of comic relief. Bonanza was a rousing success, not only because of its high ratings, but because it was groundbreaking in that it was one of the first TV series to be in all color. It spent seasons 6, 7, and 8 as the #1 rated show on TV and was the first series to appear in the top 5 rated shows for 9 consecutive seasons. In 2002, Bonanza was ranked number 43 on TV Guide's 50 Greatest Shows of All Time, and in 2013, TV Guide included it in a list of 60 greatest dramas of all time. The theme song became a very recognizable piece of music. It was played at the beginning of each episode. I would love to insert that famous tune here. However, music rights owners are very protective of their property and don't allow its use without permission. Suffice it to say, I would surely get my hand slapped were I to use it in this video. Just close your eyes and imagine Ben, Adam, Hoss, and Little Joe riding up to that memorable music. All good things must come to an end, and thus it was with Bonanza. Amid slumping ratings in 1972, the show was canceled. Bonanza was a very entertaining show that broke new ground in many ways. They just don't make them like they used to. If you enjoyed this video, give a thumbs up, make a comment, and most importantly of all, subscribe to the channel. As always, thanks for watching.